Just got done riding the trails that I've built for, I don't know, a couple years, but it's the first time I rode them with the KTM. And it was lots of fun.
Yeah, it was,
right?
Shane did a really good job on these trails. He did.
Yeah.
He cleared pretty much all the sticks on them.
Yeah, most of them. I left a couple
some
thicker
I got
bushes.
Right on my arm here. This is damage, you know, from the sticker bushes, but
that'll happen.
Northwest for you.
Yep.
So today I went riding with my brother Scott and some friends that I met through riding these trails. Dustin and Mike. It was nice. I usually just ride my dual sport, the Yamaha XT225 on these when I'm building the trails. Wear them in with that. So it was nice to finally get the big bike out there, the KTM 300. But it was challenging because I don't ride that bike enough. And I don't know, for me, going from a 4-stroke to a 2-stroke takes a little bit of warming up. It takes me a little while to get the hang of it. I'm just so used to not using the rear brake on the 4-stroke because it's got so much engine braking. In fact, the rear brake pedal has been missing for a couple months. Broke off on something. But I just, you don't really need it to ride these trails. Engine does it all for you. But on the 2-stroke, different story. Since there's no engine braking, you really need to use that rear brake, so I kind of had to relearn that. Get used to using the rear brake again. Other than that, it was a blast. Most of the trails on this video are ones I built. Just a machete. Tried to make trails where I didn't need to use a chainsaw since this isn't my land. So trying to keep it low key. But the terrain is awesome. I really love it out here.
Going fast or that long. I was like, oh, is he gonna see that?
There's been a couple times where people didn't want me building trails. In fact, right there you can see that log that someone cut, that tree that someone cut down to go across my trail. I'm assuming because for some reason they didn't want me riding it, so I had to reroute around it. So far, there's been no retaliation. I shifted it into neutral on accident right before this steep hill climb. And then I just struggled the whole way up, just spraying my brother with roost. That's another thing about the 2-stroke versus a low power 4-stroke is you gotta work to find the traction. Takes more clutch control, but I'm just out of practice.
Sorry about that. I barely made it up this. It's rocky.
ST225. It's got 16 horsepower. So pretty much get traction all the time because you don't have enough power to really spin the tire when you got a knobby on the rear in this kind of terrain, which is pretty sweet. But when you've got 50 horsepower bike, 300, you really got to work that clutch so you're not just roosting everywhere and find that traction. I think this trail in this clear cut was one of the hardest to make because it was just littered with logs, brush, slash from logging crews. And it probably took me a month of coming during my lunch break and before and after work to clear it out. As you can see, I left a couple stubborn logs in there, but for the most part, pretty clear. You definitely want to keep your feet on the pegs on these trails, though. That's single track for a reason, because just outside that single track is some stumps, sticks, snags that'll rip your feet off the pegs. It's a good incentive to keep your feet on the pegs. It's the way you should ride anyways. Oh, man. There was a windstorm the day before this. It was pretty windy, but this was the only tree that we encountered. It was pretty easy to relocate with some teamwork. This land, since it was just logged a year or two ago, there's a moratorium on it. Can't be built on for another 7 years, so gotta ride it while we can before it turns into houses. But some of these trails are on friends' property. I wanted to go check out this trail. This is a connector trail that would have led us to a whole bunch of trails, including the old motocross track I grew up riding on since I was 5. But as I suspected, it was pretty overgrown.
Man, it looks pretty overgrown. Huh?
I didn't get very far. I think that might be my project for next week.
That's a better way.
Coming in with long sleeves and a machete and clearing all those suckers out.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That's the trail. I don't know, I kind of lost my motivation. Alright.
際に居合わせたように感じられたことと思います。
It's funny, I grew up here riding power lines and connecting trails in between different friends' properties for almost 20 years. But, you know, people come and go, new people move in. Sometimes they're not a fan of bikes going through their property, but I have to say, overall, I haven't had that many negative confrontations. My buddy Marlon stopped by his house. To go ride his track a bit. Now we're on our way back. Tree down. This tree's been down for a while. It's a pretty fun one. Same with this leaning tree. That's Mike in front of me. The KTM 250. Can't remember if it's a XC or XCW. My brother Scott, he also rides a KTM 300 XC. His is a 2013, 2014 though. Mine's a XCW 300. It's a 2009, but just put a new top end in it this year, and it's riding like brand new. I can tell as I'm watching this video, I'm starting to get a little more loosened up. It takes me a while, half an hour or so, I feel like, to get really warmed up and able to get in the groove and actually go at decent speed. So it was a little tough since we only did maybe 12 miles of trails today. It's a little tough to get in that groove. This is part of the trail that I ride almost every day on the dual sport on the way to work. This is one of my favorite trails too. There's a series of straightaways with U-turns at each end, so the trails cross right next to each other, so it's kind of fun when you're riding with other people. It's fun when you're riding these trails with other people, period. In fact, I think this is one of the first times, second time I've ever ridden this trail with people other than just me. it's a little more rewarding in the trails that you've made and your friends have made. Dustin, he has a, I think it's a 2015 Husqvarna 250. I can't remember what they call them, TE? Something like that. But it's a pretty sweet bike. These trails are ones that Dustin made. They're super fun. We have a similar taste in trails. As you can see, we like to leave a couple logs in there, and I like my trails on the tighter side for the most part, since I'm not much of a speed guy. Ride kind of more trial style, or try to anyway. You can hear it right now. I should be modulating the clutch instead of just digging a hole. Again, I'm used to riding up that on the XT and just stick it in one gear and floor it and get maximum traction. More of Dustin's trail. I did see a bear today too. I forgot. Of course, I wasn't recording at the time, but it looked like a pretty big one. It was maybe 40 feet from me when I saw it, and then it just took off in the woods. Second time I've seen that bear, and the second time I've ever seen a bear in this area since I've lived here. This is fun. Uphill log jump. Slippery log jump. Really got to keep the momentum up for stuff like that. If you chop the throttle or hesitate, you're gonna get stuck, and then you're gonna be sweating and getting unstuck. This downhill is super muddy and rutted, so you just kind of gotta ride the rut and stay in the rut. Keep yourself straight up and down. Brand new trail that Mike built. Dustin might have built some of it too. It's pretty fun. definitely a good day. It was almost a perfect day, except that I did tweak my knee a little bit, my right knee, where I have no ACL, and I've been putting off getting surgery done because it feels awesome most of the time until something like today. I broke my rule. I always say if you keep your feet on the pegs, you won't hurt them. Of course, that doesn't always work out. So I put my foot down and I just felt it start to bend backwards. Yeah, I'll be limping for a couple days, but
Nice.
thanks for the ride, Scott. I sure do like that bike though. I have to use it more often, especially now that I got this new GoPro that Jen got me. This is the first video with it. I really like it. I think the next one I'll do in 4K. See how that works out.